Hello everyone, my name is Mitz, and we're going to So funny story happened. I remember a single thing that happened last time. There's just a big 1 hour gap in my brain of whatever happened last time. But it's probably not important, right? There's definitely no reason why my brain repressed it. And we're back in the defense lobby, but you know, it looks really weird. Nice painting, by the way. Where is he? The trials will begin any minute now. Ah, the snow. There you are. And let me come back. Okay, fuck you. Sorry for the tardiness, mate. Traffic on a Tuesday, you know? I think more than that. Hey, can I call you Bobby Snow? Can I? Well, you see, Snow, I got a whole paragraph list of words for you. It starts with this. Fuck you. Detective, I think we better address the elephant in the room and get right away, don't you? I don't see any elephants in the room, okay, Edgeworth? I have prepared my findings for yesterday's investigation. I have yet to hear yours. Worry not, mate. I have everything you're looking for right here. We have little time to spare, so make it quick. Okie dokie, moving right along then. Well, as you know, I went back to the defendant's apartment for another root around. If you searched it once, you searched it 1,000 times, Detective. Well, I mean, you and the police have, you know, since forgotten. There's like, you know, the couch is a treasure trove, so maybe, you know, he found something in, you know, the folds of Renwick's bed, you know? You don't know. Besides, if you were to hide Enigmium, I doubt he would keep it in his own apartment. Or maybe we're dealing with a more amateur criminal than we thought. Oh. Hold it, are you saying that you... Surprise! Oh, wow. Okay. You really want this to be pinned on him, huh? You found Enigmium? At defendant's apartment, no less? You got it, mate. Conclusive proof that Renwick is our guy. That can't be. Was Renwick Smith really the culprit all along? Did that make someone put him up to this? Yes, no, pardon, Paul, so you know. Wait just a moment. How exactly is this conclusive proof? Perhaps it was a plan to the defendant's home in order to frame him. Sure, that's exactly what I was thinking, mate. It's a possibility. If it weren't for Renwick's garbing mitts being all over it. His fingerprints, you mean? His fingerprints are on it? You want proof? Have a gander at this. Huh. The photo is a close-up of Enigmium's surface. So it's either like Renwick actually did hold it based on like Hemlock's orders, or like legitimately just, you know, it's fake. Yeah. Zeroed on the clearest visible fingerprint in this matching file. You were right, Detective. There's no doubt that these two prints are a match. Yeah-huh. Guh-huh. Well, looks like you got this case in the bag pretty much, eh? I'm sorry, Wright. But this is the truth, and the truth is what shall be revealed in court. And we had the Enigmium. This has been gone for so long, and now here it is. It's now on Enigmium now. Fingerport, Port Smith. The trial will begin in 3 minutes, Mr. Edgeworth. Okay. Well, since we're now it's Edgeworth. Wait, what am I talking about? We were always Edgeworth, don't you know? This is not called Phoenix, right? Contempt Court. This is Miles Edgeworth Contempt Court. It's weird. All the stuff from the basically first part of the trial is all here. Injury report, photo of Brisbane, the wire, his coat covered in blood on the inside. Composition report from Wes Weaver, and since we learned like Hemlock can basically just make voices, that could possibly just be him. The Brisbane that I want to call was Hemlock. It could be the same thing for the conversation for Morag Reaver. There's a weird blood in the closet which we haven't touched upon, which we see now, and all this is a bit more disorganized. Envelope that was empty, emergency recording, Hemlock, probably could got from Wright. Finger puppet Tice Crumb. Oh yeah, we don't really have this, but Phoenix told Edgeworth that in one trial. The last one. Let's look at my victims, same thing there. Radiate knife, Edgeworth went on a whole thing and just learning about that. The note that was inside the couch about Brisbane was expecting Renwick to come over at 5. And Grapevine. Thing knows on everyone's phone. This is probably the way how Hemlock managed to get, you know, keep tabs on everyone. And finally, the things we just saw. There's no other things. Wait, how's it again? 1984. I was wondering, like, wait, that's the year we're in right now? Oh boy! He's probably just born then. The trial will begin in 3 minutes, Mr. Edgeworth. That's my cue. See you there, mate. I'll be first to the stand, yeah? Yeah, so I'll summon you as soon as I deliver my opening statement. That's damn I'm sorry? Did you say something? I said that damn right. Defending a man we can prove guilty today, right? Oh god. Today will be the final day for this case. The truth behind Brisbane's assault, murders of dogs in Maplethorpe, identity of Hemlock and his plans. They should all be revealed today. Wish I had better news for you, Wright. But your client's guilt is obvious. For better or for worse, I must expose the truth behind these crimes, no matter what. Well, in we go. Of course, now session for the final day Romix mistrial. Oh yes, boy do we know. The prosecution events prepared to begin? Okay, you're not doing so hot. I said, are we prepared to begin, Mr. Wright? Oh, yes, Your Honor. Raring to go. I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. Are you sure, Mr. Wright? You appear a little frazzled today. It's just, I think I'm coming down with the flu, Your Honor. Now, can we just get this over with, please? I mean, the defense is ready, Your Honor. Honest. The prosecution, too, is ready, Your Honor. Okay. Right, good. I'm glad we're all on the same page after all. I mean, what page of this court record are we on, okay? As you're both aware, today is the final day for this case, so I'll allow. No. We can spare more investigation time as this case has gone for far long enough as it is. Or we could change the law to have another single day. No, that's not gonna happen. I know what I asked of you has been a tall order, but this trial is the final chance you will both get to present your cases. A verdict for Romix Smith will be rendered today. Have we understood? Understood, Your Honor. Right? Yes, Your Honor. Okay. We begin as always with your opening statement, Mr. Edgeworth. Results of your investigation fruitful? Very much so, Your Honor. Firstly, we had the test result of the VD8 knife to discuss. The second bloodstain was identified as belonging to Mr. Titus Crump. Titus Crump? The elderly gentleman from DT2 and VD8? Yes, the very same one. For whatever reason, he appears to have been killed with this very knife. Was such an item brought to our attention during the trial? I was not really involved within the case. I cannot for no confident answer. But according to Wright, it was not. Correct, Wright? That's the first I've heard of it, Your Honor. Wait, is the defense denying the prosecution's claims? I'd never spoken to you about such a thing, Edgeworth. I think I remember something like that, wouldn't you say? Oh, come on, Wright. We very clearly discussed this yesterday. Mm-hmm. Okay, why? Moving on, what else has the prosecution turned up? This finger puppet of Titus Crump recovered from Vic's Volper's solitary confinement cell. The Prince of Volper and the defendant Romix Smith have been found inside of it. That's right, Your Honor. Much would like Detective Smith to be found innocent. There's no two ways about it. He wore the finger puppet at some point. And now the coup de grace. A single piece of evidence to solidify Mr. Smith's guilt. The enigma itself. You found it? Oh boy. Mr. Edgeworth, where on earth did you find it? I'm afraid I can't take all the credit, Your Honor. This is snow recovered from yesterday from the defendant's home. It's currently completely covered in the defendant's fingerprints. This accompanying document confirms the fingerprints on the object as Mr. Smith's. There's other conclusive, I'm afraid, right? Did Smith have the enigma in his possession all along? While reviewing the evidence, I did toy with the idea that had been planted there. How does it account for the fingerprints, you see? With in mind, it's only possible for Mr. Smith to have handled the object. This certainly sounds like the conclusive proof we've been looking for. Do you have anything to say regarding the prosecution's assertions, Mr. Wright? I have to admit, Your Honor, things seem pretty conclusive right now to me, too. Much I hate to admit it, of course. I had suspicions. He's not even trying to raise an objection? That's definitely not the right I know. This thing is very wrong here. With that out of the way, I'd like to call Detective Smith to the stand. Oh boy. Hi, sir. Hello, you little husker man. Come on, Niles. We were 3 days in. Who's gonna forget old Robbie? Wait, what's your name again? It's merely formality. My name is Miles. Fine. Once more for old time's sake, then. Detective Robert Snow. Homicide. Definitely commits them. And can you confirm that you are responsible for the recovery of that enigma, Detective? Aye, I do. And that informs the data is genuine. I can't bloody believe it. Detective? Ram McMate, why'd you do it? Was it really worth your own friend's life? Couldn't you both talk out like civilized people? Ever heard of sharing, mate? Okay, so maybe just for the final time, maybe. Okay. Don't you know? The more you have, the less you have. I don't understand your expression. But alas, it appears that we may have our man after all. Before we move on to your testimony, Mr. Edgeworth, you found anything more on Hemlock? I'm afraid not, Your Honor. I was under the impression that Wright was chasing down some leads on Hemlock yesterday. Mr. Wright, is this true? No, Your Honor. I mean, I was, but my leads, they led me to a dead end. It seems that my client was alone in what he did. Nothing to do with Hemlock at all. That guy vanished 6 years ago, after all. Oh, Mr. Wright. Wright, what are you doing? Of course you have leads. I'm afraid you're mistaken. We all were. Don't beat yourself up, Harry. Hemlock's too slippery a fella. It would have been hard for anyone to track him down for too long. But in all seriousness, I think, if Hemlock was established as the one at Enigmium, why would Hemlock have stashed in his own home? Sorry guys, but the forensic data on the fingerprints prove it was him. But yet we require testimony from you first regarding your discovery. You ready to begin, Detective? As ready as I'll ever be, I guess. Well, since we are going through Edgeworth, how is the whole testimony thing gonna go? Enigmium discovery. To confirm Roman's guilt, the Enigmium had to be found. After one last-ditch attempt to scour his apartment, it finally turned up. I mean, look at this beauty. This is it for sure, yeah? And whoopsie-daisy, Romick, you went and left your prints all over it, champ. Sorry about this, mate. I really am, but I'm just doing my job. It's nothing personal. Yeah, sure. I'm finding a couple of things a little hard to swallow, Detective. Really? You tried mashing them up and dissolving them in water, Your Honor? This is not an Alka-Seltzer. Not my medication, thank you. Although I will actually take that tip on board. No, I'm referring to the convenience of the setup. And there's one thing Remeka ain't, is a good burglar. He'd have taken care to hide in a more secretive place than he chose. If that's the case, then why was it not found sooner? Whoa, let's give Harry some sort of challenge to his cross-examination. The defense is ready to begin, Your Honor, I think. Indeed a puzzler. Why did it take the police near enough 3 days to find the Enigmium? Sure that should turn up now when I was supposedly not hidden very well. That being said, I ought to pay close attention to Wright's cross-examination. Something is very off about his behavior today. I'm not buying his flu story for a second. You are great, Edgeworth. Mr. Wright, we are all waiting for you to begin. Yes, Your Honor. I'm just thinking of what approach to take. Well, I guess we'll start with the start, Detective. I mean, we'll begin with the beginning. I mean, yeah, let's just do this. Enigmium. Well, it sure looks like you have an Enigmium, alright? I guess this means the identity of the person who's assaulted is obvious right now. I mean, Miss Weaver saw him leave the house with it. That explains the prints, right? Her phone conversation recording clearly reveals the defendant's voice in the background, too. And now this final evidence from Detective Snow really cements Detective Smith's guilt. As much as I hate to admit it, there's no more room for debate. Is there, Your Honor? Huh. So as you can see, members of the court, despite the trust and belief I put into each and every one of my clients, I'm afraid on this occasion that it was very much misplaced. As much as I'd like to have believed in myself, even I was taken for a fool. I knew something was amiss. He didn't even bring up the points we discussed yesterday. All I did was agree with everything the detective said. It is with a heavy heart that I must declare Womack Smith. The prosecution has doubts about the defense's argument, Your Honor. It does, but the defense has agreed with the witness and, by extension, you, Mr. Edgeworth. Yeah, he's right, you know. You're just agreeing with your own case, Mr. Edgeworth. You got this case in the bag, mate. You've won. Yes, I'm aware of the irony. My disagreement spurs from the certain details that the defense has inexplicably left out. I value truth and justice above petty victories. Your Honor, I wish to challenge the defense's argument. Ooh, boy. Well, I'm not one for leaving a stone unturned. Well, I mean, I'm find a boulder or a pebble instead. Agreed. This argument warrants further explanation. What are you up to, Wright? Why try to halt your momentum and sabotage the case? I don't think that's a very good idea, Your Honor. It has been settled, right? There's no going back now. Boy. Whatever's gotten into him, I for one won't stand for injustice and false truths. If I had to be the one to defend his own client for him, then so be it. Enigmium. We're here in Ace Attorney Investigations time. Hell, it sure looks like you found Enigmium, all right? Oh boy, now we're doing this instead. A question to know first concerning this point. Shoot. Might I ask where exactly in the defendant's apartment you found Enigmium? The other cliche of hiding places near loose floorboard, mate. A true murder mystery classic, right? Indeed. So much so, one would think that would be the first place they would check. Scour the floor. And who was responsible for the discovery of this loose floorboard? Well, Renwick, I should think. It is his apartment, you know, if he... Man, you guys aren't an easy crowd today. Fine, it was me. I honestly wonder if this man ever takes his job seriously. No, and more, just to take his job more seriously in more ways than one, you know. Does that answer your question, Edgeworth? No. No, not entirely. Memory serves me, Enigmium is a very malleable substance. That is, its appearance can be easily altered. And your point is? The defendant not think to at least disguise it. Granted, it's not a foolproof plan, but it would have been an effort, would it not? My client, he didn't know about Enigmium that well. He just knew of its worth and was totally focused on obtaining it. Rumba came to the conduct with way back when it looked like a King of Hearts. As far as he was concerned, it was just a playing card made of metal. He probably noticed how bendy it was, but otherwise didn't know. I see. He wasn't aware that you could disguise to look like something else entirely. Well, that's one way to take it. I thought I was onto something there. Very well, right. Continue. We're just going down the list to him. We're gonna do your job for you, Phoenix. I guess this means identity of Brisbane's is obvious right now. Not even trying. Something of a rash conclusion, don't you think, right? Concerning how thus far you've been adamant the defendant was not Brisbane's house. That's what I believed at first, but after weighing the evidence... don't beat yourself, Harry. It's all honesty. I admire your blind trust in others. That's what people take advantage of. Case in point, Young Smith here. Remember how much he begged for you to take his case? Because I knew you'd buy into his sob story, see. Never mind, let me just, okay. Yep, a lot of sickos out there, detective. So your answer would be, no, my conclusion was not rash. Correctamundo. Great, that cleared up a lot. I mean, Miss Weaver saw him leave the house with it. That explains the prints, right? Did Miss Weaver say the person was wearing gloves, though? We still cannot determine the man behind the mask. Look at the evidence, Edgeworth. I'd be the last to admit defeat, but facts are facts. That's when that ever stopped you. And how do we know that the assailant was the defendant? Her phone conversation recording clearly reveals the defendant's voice in the background, too. I can't argue with that. You just now chose to argue with it. Okay, you shut up. No, my intention was not to... Well, yes, in a way, This guy ain't playing with a full deck, eh, Harry? Well, guess what? We're way far behind poker card puns, okay? Even though I keep bringing up... No, fuck, you're putting my own goddamn jokes against me. I hate you more. You got that right, detective. Look, can we just move on? Guess I didn't have a valid point after all. And now this final evidence for Detective Snow really cements that Smith's guilt. I must question your motives, right? Why are you no longer concerned about your client? Because the evidence outweighs his innocence, don't you agree? At first glance, but what about the leads you were chasing down yesterday? Do they not account for anything anymore? I'm afraid not. As much as I hate to admit it, there's no more room for debate. Is there, Your Honor? There's plenty of room for debate. You must have formulated some kind of counter-argument. I was thinking the same thing, Niles. Stop calling me. I'm not the River Styx, okay? We're not in goddamn Egypt, okay? I don't know why, but my mind is immediately jumping to just, like, I need to learn more fucking Egyptian pharaoh and queen stuff names. Just, I need more jokes about Egyptian now. Just, I need to know more, I need to make more jokes, okay. What's the matter, Harry? Where's the fighting spirit? I don't know. I mean, in the face of the evidence before us, I guess there's no more point. Sometimes you gotta admit when you're wrong, huh? Oh boy. This is something of a role reversal. I'm the one defending Wright's client by your own volition, and I'm pretty sure we're all living for it. Now let's go beyond that. This is the coax of the truth I know he's withholding from us. I have to gather my thoughts and listen carefully again to Wright's argument. And to bring out the truth, I must deconstruct his reasoning piece by piece. So we heard everything. My first thought was literally just about... Was there... I think I remember something about wearing... Miss Weaver said something about gloves? Reportedly found a friend's helmet to the snow. Let's see. Bears a larger blood edge as well as versus prints. Yeah, actually, if we don't, if it doesn't say anything about gloves, then this could be it right here, because if, like, since, you know, Miss Weaver saw, you know, Renwick go in, why isn't his prints on it? And besides, we learned that same conversation he was wearing gloves. Don't know if Edgeworth learned about that, though. Is there anything else that says that this conclusively? No, I think that's the best course of action. No? Okay. I felt that was a good thing. Well, unless, like, you know, we as Edgeworth don't even know about the whole Weaver story. At this point in time, we don't have room for doubt. If you cannot follow up on your claims, then I probably will be in order, Mr. Edgeworth. Well, I spoke too soon. Sure looks like you found the Enigma, alright. Guess this means identity of Brisbane's assailant is obvious right now. You saw him leave the house with it. That explains the prints, right? It reveals the defendant's voice in the background, too. And now this final evidence from Judge Snow really cements Smith's guilt. As much as I hate to admit it, there's no more room for debate, is there, Your Honor? So I think the most conclusive thing we can present against is either the, like, basically anything involving Miss Weaver's thing. So, the defendant's voice in the background, since, like, Edgeworth doesn't know anything about the whole Hemlock can mimic voices, we can't use that. Miss Weaver saw him leave the house with it. That explains the prints, right? Helper. I thought for sure that'd work. Hold on a second. Maybe he's like it before. Like maybe they're hidden the profiles. Okay, never mind. I was fucking right. Okay, so he was holding the Enigma in a gloved hand. Yeah, let's go with that. I'm pretty sure the envelope could have worked as well, but well, I guess if like Edward doesn't know about it, then yeah, okay. But yeah. No, I believe it does not. Really? But the assailant did leave Mr. Brisbane's house with the Enigma in hand, yes? Yes, but did he have both of his hands? No, he was not. You know, he didn't have his hands chopped. Okay. As a sole witness, you must take Miss Weaver's words on that, Your Honor. As such, you must also take her word on another observation of hers. I'm so happy we're getting music for investigations. I love that game so much. Namely that of the assailant's gloves. Gloves? For those of you in the court who had the pleasure of meeting Miss Warwick Weaver, you also remember a crucial part of testimony. The assailant wore gloves. And what's more, that he held the Enigma in his hand. Wait, he wasn't holding it in a bag? Well, you're right. Okay. Yes, Mr. Wright, did you just shout objection just then? Huh? No, that wasn't me. Oh, yes, that was me, Your Honor. Oh my God. Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Oh, God. Yes, I have an objection to, object forth. You're wrong, Edgeworth, because how else did the defense fingerprints get on the Enigma? Now, keep in mind that we are only focusing one moment, at the crime. Now, consider that Judge Smith and Brisbane are good friends. Must have been a point in time where, I don't know, he touched it, perhaps? I didn't realize Brisbane and Rin were so close that I'm, just like, hey, touch my eyeball. Oh, okay. Poke. This is not weird at all. I think I know what you're trying to say, mate. What I'm personally getting from that load of rubbish is that the gloves don't matter. On what grounds do you make that assumption? Rummick's prints or Rummick's prints, mate. Whether he took it home and polished it, or he and Brisbane used to play golf with it. Well, whatever the reason, Renwick must have touched the Enigma at a different time. To the report, mate. There's no mistaking whose prints are there. Indeed, even the same wore gloves, it doesn't excuse the prints being there nonetheless. Doesn't explain Wright's sudden heel turn either. Yes, behavioral psychology evidence, okay? Regardless, I believe this places down who exactly the assailant was. The man Miss Weaver saw leave the premises with the Enigma in hand. Now the tricky part, deciding what really was Smith or not. Having no idea what either answer means for this case. And can you confidently confirm whether this man really was the offender or not? Don't know if we even have that on hand since, you know, no. But I am forced to choose now that I've brought it up. Man who left the crime scene with Enigmium, was it Smith or not? It's mostly now a case of just wondering if we should follow along with, like, you know, is it Smith or not? Okay, I'm gonna follow along the line of logic that since Edgeworth has not heard anything about the whole voice mimicry that Hemlock has, we can only say it was Smith. This won't initially sound good for the defendant, but if I can turn around somehow... The mysterious hooded figure with Enigmium had to have been Detective Smith. So the defendant was the guilty party. Now, Your Honor, my assumption is based purely on the fingerprint debacle. Here's the answer by which I've chosen to stand. Oh my god. Oh, yes! Objection! Oh my god. Oh. Let's forget about the fingerprints for a moment, shall we? They aren't entirely necessary for pointing out my client's guilt. But please elaborate, Mr. Wright. I hope everybody in the court heard the prosecution's words just now. The mysterious hooded figure with Enigmium had to have been Detective Smith. So you're in fact assuming he set forth in the house, yes? Correct. If that's true, then there's no way he could have missed the unconscious bloody body of Brisbane. That is, assuming he didn't commit attempted murder. What? Huh. Order, order, order! The defense appears to be correct, Mr. Edgeworth. I like how you're not even questioning the fact that we swap roles now. If you so strongly assert the hooded man to be the defendant, then there would be only two distinct possibilities. One, that he was the assailant and left the scene, thinking Mr. Brisbane had been killed. Or two, that he wasn't the assailant, but knew by the body in the middle of the room. I mean, he saw the person's body regardless. So take a gamble in hopes of turning it around. Wright has turned it around on me instead. Well, I mean, he does like to do that, you know? See, Edgeworth? I'm trying telling me that Smith is innocent now. Gotta admit, folks, that's a very smart fellow over there. Oh my god. Well, I can't take all the credit. Do. Oh my god. I believe we should hear new testimony from you regarding this, Detective Snow. The body in the living room. What's Detective Smith to blame? I was so distracted by those bloody fingerprints. I can't afford to be sidetracked right now. Sooner or later, Wright, I need the truth from you. If I have to pull it out from the roots, that's what I'm gonna do. Brinson's body. Such a hearing years, we're probably gonna hear Phoenix's own rebuttal again, too. It may have been dark, but there's no way Renwick could have missed the body. It's like Harry said, how else could he have taken the Enigmium? Whether he did it or not, Renwick saw the body either way. Since he didn't call the police in discovering his dying friend, made you think, eh? Okay. So we just need to figure out how to get around this small issue then. Small issue? That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it, Edgeworth? This can't be right. He wouldn't be acting like this of his own accord. Could it be that... In case I'm right, I should tread carefully and see where this goes. You are very smart, Edgeworth. I'd rather the defense cross-examine the detective before I give my opinion. I agree, Mr. Wright. Cross-examine? What are you waiting for, mate? Have at it! Oh, boy. Judging the body position, it was impossible for Detective Smith to have not seen it. It was in the middle of the living room floor, I'll give you that. That is how he was able to get his hands on Enigmium, after all. You can't deny the assailant's identity with all the evidence supporting it. The fact Brisbane called his own ambulance proves Smith was in no rush to do it himself. This is, of course, all based on the prosecution's assumption that he really was there. You said yourself, Edgeworth. You stand by what you said. Oh, should I be sitting down now? You answered that Detective Smith was indeed the masked man on the premises at the time. You stand if it was him. You stand if it wasn't him. Nice! I can see through you, right? You wouldn't give up on your clients this easily. There must be some more going on here. Sheen. Rebuttal time. Christmas body. Okay, so, the best course of action is to press everything! I'm inclined to say improbable, not impossible. Might I remind you that it was supposedly dark when we did experiment, mate. Covered the windows to simulate the conditions of the crime. I don't know about the rest of them dumbos, but I for one could still clearly see the body. An interesting experiment. When did this come about? As soon as you found the body, mate. You're only hearing about it now because you forced my hand. Cause you forced my hand. Cause you forced my hand. And there I was thinking we were just wasting time. I can vouch to Detective Snow. I stumbled upon this experiment when I first saw the scene. Is that so? Cursed, I was hoping this would be a point worth pressing. Besides, Edgeworth, you're missing out on another point. The enigma had to have been taken directly from the body as it served as its false eye. You're not wrong there. If we're saying Smith was the masked person, he has the enigmium, so yeah, it's weird to think otherwise. And that's how he's able to get his hands on enigmium after all. I can't refute that point too well. The defendant was somehow able to remove Brisbane's eye, then surely the object is removable in the first place. I would assume Brisbane doesn't keep it in 24/7. Huh. I can see where you're coming from. The evidence appeared to suggest that it was forcibly removed from his eye socket. Besides, it hardly looks like he puts his eye in a glass of water by his bed at night like an old lady. That's dentures, not eyeballs. Do people with fake eyes do that too? I need to look at that. That's the thing that adds to the Egyptian names thing. Believe me, we checked his bedroom for a glass of water. Found not. Okay, I like that word. Oh yes, such overwhelming evidence. Oh boy. The point is that we can now positively confirm who was there that night. You can't deny the assailant's identity with all the evidence supporting it. All the evidence supporting it. I don't believe we can just yet. You said yourself that Detective Smith was the masked man that Miss Weaver saw. I heard it too. Yes, we have it on record, Mr. Edgeworth. That is correct, Your Honor. I'm toying with the idea that a second person was there at the victim's address. A second party? Oh, are you gonna say a third person was there and a fourth person came along and took the weapon? Okay, that's references for a different game entirely. Don't worry about that. Second person? Pfft, yeah, right. You're wrong, Edgeworth. Please fucking help me. Hey, can the prosecution back up such a ridiculous claim? I do have a second party to the scene. It'll probably be the only way right now to bring about doubt upon the defendant. I plan to, but not right now. I mean, you can't. Good. Let me continue. That's harsh. I hate you, Phoenix. The fact Brisbane called his own ambulance proves Smith was in no rush to do it himself. Perhaps calling an ambulance wasn't the first thing in the defendant's mind. Discovering the bleeding, broken body of his one and only friend, Harold Brisbane? A tall, proud man with a heart of gold, now reduced to a pile of jelly in the cold, hard floor. Yeah, but without the goddamn harsh metaphor. You're right. My first instinct would have been to order a pizza. Or maybe apply first aid yourself. Maybe. What kind of pizzas do you eat for that image to be so appetizing? Actually, no, I don't know. Is it worse to have Jello pizza? Like, Jello on top of normal pizza? Or pineapple? No, jelly pizza. The obvious reason the defendant didn't ring for an ambulance was because he did. Okay, my mind's still on it. How sweet and savory, they don't mix. On the other hand, pineapple is sweet. Fucking word, it's the same thing. God damn it. He scampered back home and pretended to be asleep when the police came knocking. This is, of course, all based on the prosecution's assumption that he really was there. And what is the defense's assumption? Do you disagree that Smith was there? Well, no, I suppose not. He was there, of course, to kill Brisbane and steal his enigmium. Kinda gives it away, don't it? Why else would he be trapezing around the dead of night? Exactly, Detective Snow. Why else indeed? These sorts of simulations are starting to sound more and more despondent. This is most unlike Wright to just give up on his client like this. My hunch is correct as to his odd behavior. I should approach this with extreme caution. There's a flaw within the argument somewhere, I just have to find it. Maybe then I can begin to piece together what really happened during the crime, while simultaneously exposing Wright's arguments as somebody else's. Judging the body's position, it was impossible for Detective Smith to have been not seen it. That's how he was able to get his hands on enigmium, after all. You can't deny the assailant's identity without the evidence supporting it. The fact that Brisbane called his own ambulance proves Smith was in no rush to do it himself. Was there anything else? I should probably read all the profiles too, just to be sure. Defense attorney of a long case, longtime friend. investigation, just a touch of sarcasm included. Did you just say a touch? Saturn to be in his own home in a stable condition, but currently comatose. Arrested in suspicion of being the one who arrested Ted Brisbane. Known to erupt to the slightest provocation, chief police. Jerry Jackson, an uncovered detective in Trail of Hemlock. Currently death row as a result of guilt for 2 recent murders. Irritating woman who saw the assailant since he was holding the demeaning gloved hand. Word for Detective Jackson as a mole in the police force, killed by Vex Welper. Hemlock. A mobster behind the smuggling ring's revival, Achilles, also supposed to be the boogeyman killer. Excuse me. The Achilles member who actually killed another agent is supposedly a victim of the boogeyman killer. Old little man Volper killed impersonating VD8, killed with a VD8 knife. That's all of it. This is called by Brisbane at 5:30 a.m. 5:30. Oh yeah, there was that whole contradiction. If like we either bring that up, like hopefully you could bring it up right here. I'm just gonna you know, you didn't see anything. So I think there was a contradiction, or at least a weird discrepancy in the very first, like, you know, trial day for this. Was that Miss Weaver saw technically, like, Smith leave the house at 5:03. Like, let me just see, just to be sure. The conversation report. All the way... Yeah, 5:03, and yet the ambulance was called at 5:30. Yeah. So... Yeah, maybe that's it? Let's go with that. No, that's not right. Oh, I was so close. Okay, the 5-person called his own ambulance proves Smith was in no rush to do it himself. This is all based on the prosecutor's assumption that he really was there. Judging the body's position, it was possible that Smith hasn't seen it. Maybe they used something with the whole body's position and all that. What was it? We have a photo with that. Photograph of the president's unconscious body, press examined for a closer look. There is a blood streak coming from his eye. His empty eye socket. That probably just means, like, it was forcibly taken out or something like that. That's how he was able to get his hand into Enigmatrol. Tears coming in Russian blood. Suffered multiple traumas and excessive blood loss. Right arm broken. Wait. His right arm's broken. And he has no blood on his fingertips for his left hand here. Oh, wow. Oh, ooh. Let's see. Hopefully this is a path to go forward. Let's try it. Nope. Okay. Problem that statement. Let me just load back. You didn't see this happen. Don't worry about it. Everything called it an ambulance. Proof Smith was in no rush to do it himself. So, of course, based on the prosecutor's assumption that he really was there. So, technically, we have, like, I already thought of, like, 2, like contradictions here, but we just don't know how to present them, really. Or, like, what to go forth to present here, of all things. Cause on ambulance proves Smith was no rush to do himself. Okay, that sounds like with all the evidence supporting it. That's how he was able to get his hands on Enigma after all. Just in the body's position, it was impossible to Justice Smith to have not seen it. Oh, that's a big leap to take. Huh. Okay, so the real thing to go continue off of this is basically here, at this point, it was possible to Smith to have not seen it based on the body's position. Just about the blood in the cabinet, that contradiction right here. Yeah, that's a big flaw of this game. I'll just keep bringing up time again. You have to make it clear exactly, like, you know, there's, like, you know, a contradiction like that there. I guess, like, we already seen it time and time again, but let's just go with this. But now I have those 2 discrepancies in the back of my head now about how Brisbane couldn't call because both his right hand was broken, his left hand is not bloodied, even though there's bloody, you know, there's blood, you know, presumably based on the fingertips, just on the phone. Yeah, and the phone call and the timestamp itself. Right? Did it snow? Micro assuming Brisbane is found on his living room floor. I thought we'd been over this so many times. Do you need to check the photograph again? This is clearly the living room floor. I'm not talking about the photograph. I'm referring to one of the case's most intriguing mysteries. Namely the trace of blood found inside the kitchen cabinet. That bloodstain. Maybe, like, Huh. That's only supposed to be something you're supposed to infer that the body was placed in there, maybe? Oh, if the body was placed in there, in the cabinet, that would definitely hide it, but what about a mess? The mess in the entire of the house. Just Renwick walks in. Oh, wow, looks like a bird went through here. Yeah, it doesn't matter, walks out. You think the bloodstain in the cabinet contradicts the defense's argument? That particular bloodstain puzzled me from the beginning. How could a bloodstain this prominent be present in such an unlikely location? Yeah, the cabinet was supposed to be closed. Is the defense able to explain this? Consider this your final chance to convince me nothing is wrong, right? Don't try and deny what I know you know. The bloodstain, huh? I think it's a matter of simple deduction, Edgeworth. Even you could do it. As we all know, the victim was beaten until he drew blood. And as you saw from the crime scene, it was spilled over a wide area. Who's to say some of it didn't fly in the direction of the cabinet? That's how it stained the interior. Oh. Incorrect. And you know it is. Oh, Mr. Wright? No, Edgeworth. I don't know what you're... Your Honor, the cabinet was closed at the time of the incident. Investigation team and I opened it for the first time 2 days ago. 2 days ago? And how do you explain the blood on the inside? As it was impossible then for the blood to fly across the room into the cabinet. That leaves us only one other explanation. It wasn't blood, it wasn't Brisbane's blood. Brisbane was there. Yeah. The answer, though, killed 2 birds with 1 stone, or mysteries in this case. The reason the bloodstain was found in a closed cabinet, and also the reason Redmond Smith failed to see the body, the true assailant hid the unconscious Brisbane in the cabinet before he arrived. No way! Order? I will have order. Running with the idea that the defendant was indeed the man Miss Weaver saw, the body must have been moved beforehand by somebody else. The real assailant. Possibly so. Okay, so, if we're going with that idea then, that means, like, literally... Oh. Why did I connect it further? Because, obviously, it's because, like, literally just... I even pointed out the whole... Brisbane couldn't have even touched the phone because he was probably unconscious the entire time. So the scene itself was all fabricated. The whole broken cactus plant, the shards of glass in the ground, the disheveled couch cushions and all that. Yeah, everything. The bloody footprints, handprints, like, going for the ground, like, to me, like, the show, like, Brisbane, like, crawling up to the phone using it. No, that's not what happened. So basically, it was a completely clean house, and Brisbane was just hidden inside a cabinet, and Brisbane just walked in. And because of that note, because of this note, this small note, Brisbane and Renwick were planning to meet up. Yeah. So what did Renwick think when he came in? Unless, you know, he saw Hemlock or something like that. Don't know. That's such a ridiculous scenario. What evidence do you have to back that up with? How can you prove a second person was there before Detective Smith arrived? Actually, don't even answer that, because I know for a fact that you can't. Please. Oh, I've got a good one. Something else you missed out, Niles? Stop calling me Niles. We're not in goddamn Egypt, okay? I only know, like, it was Cleopatra part in Egypt. Gosh, I need to touch on my Egypt jokes and all that. Okay, that's something I need to do. I keep saying I need to think of, like, cat, like, you know, animal jokes for, like, one game, and now I need to look up Egypt jokes the second I'm done with this. Okay? Okay, time to look up Egyptian names. Now I'm no detective or anything. No, you're not. Glad on you. Wink, wink. Shake, shake. But even if the innocent Renwick didn't see the body. Innocent. Still had a lot of blood around the place, eh? Forgot about the blood. And he would have noticed for sure. Yeah, okay. Found the arm of the sofa for the crime scene. Interior is completely drenched in blood. Was this used as, like, you know, a way to stop the blood from going? Then added afterwards. That is so sly. Okay, that's great. Okay, I love that idea. Before we asked the experiment to show the blood to be visible in the dark, too. Yeah, I guess so. Sorry, Niles. Stop it. I'm not called Niles. I don't want to be dragged to the river Styx, okay? But you can't prove Renwick wasn't there when something went down. As long as that doubt remains, Smith was the assailant. How am I going to prove a second party was involved? What would he do at a time like this? The odds are set against him. he would always somehow manage to turn things around and think outside the box. Bluff. Well, I mean, technically, that's like, you know, yeah, just an inside joke. And how would one apply that mindset to this current debacle? Of course. Warner Smith didn't see the copious amounts of blood, because it wasn't even there yet. Yeah. The prosecution rests with its plea. Redneck Smith did not stumble across the blood-soaked battleground. Guess such a scene did not even exist. Huh? Oh, you're showing visible signs! Mr. Edgeworth, did I hear you correctly? You claim that there was no blood in the vicinity when the friend arrived? Okay, I still love this Ace Attorney Investigations music. I love it so much. I know people say, like, that first game was a bit meh. I guess a tiny bit boring, but I loved, like, just going through it, like, smaller cases. What am I saying? Smaller cases that turn out to something bigger. But still, that was a great lead up to that finale, though. The finale could use some tiny bit of work, but you know what I mean. No sounds of foul play that would have warranted the need to phone an ambulance, including lack of blood, yes? That is hands down the most ridiculous thing you've ever said. The killer flew away. How was, like, second game, second case, that's how exactly is that reasoning supposed to prove a second person was there? The second person could have been Brisbane unconscious, then stashed the body in the kitchen cabinet so that Smith wouldn't find it. You say that, but how does that make the blood magically disappear, then reappear? Hydrogen peroxide and rags. You and I saw clear as day to investigation, after all. I admit doesn't make much sense. Mr. Edgeworth, can you explain how this second person was able to make this phenomenon happen? Pure teleportation, Your Honor. Actually, oh my god, if someone actually has pure teleportation powers, they can just teleport, like, you know, some item into someone's body, like, just hold on a knife and just, like, I teleport this into someone's heart. Yeah, they're immediately dead. That, or you can just, like, if you have the ability to, like, force other people to teleport, hey, teleport into this wall, and, yeah, how, oh god, oh no. I suppose I have to now, won't I? Yes, Your Honor, I believe I can. As in, I hope. This is how the second person was able to make the bloodstains disappear, then reappear. Here comes the jacket! That's the victim's jacket, is it not? New music. This simple item of clothing became the assailant's most useful tool that night. For use the victim's own jacket to construct a crime scene where we have come to know. You lost your conkers, mate. What did he do, magic them away with his magic jacket? I didn't know you were into magic tricks. The bloodstains weren't even there in the first place. I think I drew the court's attention to the interior of the jacket. You observe it to be completely soaked with blood. However, the interior shows a stark contrast. Oh yes, you're right. There's not one drop of blood on the outside. Indeed. Curious, isn't it? Brisbane was abused all over and bled through his shirt, according to this photo. Sure, that would explain the jacket's interior. I disagree. Look in the photograph, right? The bloodstains in the jacket were exterior, probably caused by his facial bleeding. That might remind you that he isn't even wearing the jacket. Even if he did wear it at the time, why would the assailant choose to remove it? God damn it. If Mr. Brisbane wasn't wearing his jacket, how'd the inside get so bloody? Following a medical examination, it was revealed the victim has hemophilia, Your Honor. Hemophilia. Like, the blood can't clot? Oh. Oh, wow, that's practically death sentence if you get any kind of bleeding injury. Oh, no. You have to treat that immediately right away if I'm getting the medical terminology right. That's something I only discovered yesterday myself. Hemophilia? Is that something you do with vampires? No. No, Your Honor, not quite. It's a genetic condition where one's blood takes much longer to properly clot, if at all. Yeah. In extreme cases, even a pinprick could cause profuse bleeding for hours. This is the reason that the victim lost so much blood from mere blunt force. My, that sounds dreadful. I feel by my own tongue. I'll take into consideration the victim's condition and this jacket. The assailant must have wrapped the victim's upper body up in the jacket, preventing that blood from landing onto the floor. Wait, the cabinet? Knowing the defendant would soon be arriving, the assailant had to act fast. With the victim's body bleeding to the jacket, he moved into the kitchen cabinet, has a view from Smith, who would be none the wiser when he showed up. Actually, So now that the breastplate has hemophilia, like the jacket could be used to, like, you know, add like certain like bloodstains from a traumatic effect and all of that. But if like he like continues to bleed all the time, you can actually simulate the blood, you know, just mass amounts of blood even more. That's just acting for you. Then what about the blood we found saw the crime scene? Once the defendant was gone, they suddenly came out fighting and got to work. Took the body back out of the cabinet, with the blood pooling the jacket. That was when he set about painting the crime scene, quite literally. That is what I believe explains the half-hour time gap. Yeah, from, yeah, okay, 503. Smith leaves Enigmium. If we can't prove it was Hemlock because we need the whole thing about voice mimicry, and we actually need to prove that then, we can't. So, and Brisbane called his own ambulance an half hour later. This is a very interesting theory, Mr. Edgeworth. Of course, we have yet to hear try to prove that any of it holds water. Well, I mean, jackets hold water if you think of it hard enough. No. I'm afraid it doesn't exactly bring up the possibility of a second person. Exactly, Your Honor. Think about whose fingerprints were found at the scene. And not only that, but think of where they were found. In the original weapon, the garrote wire. Oh, Niles, my lad, you done it this time. Oh my god, I'm already losing my voice for you. I think that's the purpose. Explain. Don't you get it? The second person's all in your head, mate. Oh, wow, got schizophrenia then? Let me just take my schizophrenia pills and just forget all of you even exist in my mind. You ain't got nothing to suggest Redmond didn't just walk in and do it all himself. All you've done is incriminate him further. Take it away, Harry. Oh boy, there was no second person. There was no second person in the scene. Remick Smith was alone what he did. He tried to murder Brisbane, the Enigmium theft, setting up the crime scene, everything else. Besides, why would he show up at 4:30 in the morning in a mask and hoodie? Past 4? And also, why... How did he... Oh my... Mr. Wright, are you feeling okay? Is your flu again? Yeah, looks like it, Your Honor. Come on, Harry, you can do it. I think I got some cold killer in my coat somewhere. Oh my god. Oh my god. I heard it's your favorite. I don't know how to express my feeling right now. Right, is there perhaps something you wish to get off your chest? No, nothing at all. Everything's going to plan. Hemlock. Bless your soul. Wright must have looked around too far yesterday and the Phantom Controller himself appeared. He's the one forcing you to giving up on your client. Not if I have anything to say about it. To take a quote from a game with people like Edgeworth around who needs defense attorneys. And with God, I'm already messing with the quote. Never mind. There was no second person. No second person in the scene. Remick Smith was alone in what he did. I have a very specific second person in mind, and you know as well as I do exactly who it was. Nope, no I don't. No second person at all. No siree. Oh my god, you're breaking down. Oh my god. You guys are the man who's denying the best lore in the city. I mean, he's slowly becoming famous. He's not that famous. They tried to murder Brisbane, the Enigmium theft, setting up the crime scene, everything else. Define everything else. Everything else? I meant nothing else. I meant everything else as a nothing else. Second's a great thing, huh? Your really is being coerced by Hemlock. I keep trying to coax to the truth. I'll somehow expose the truth myself. And besides, why would he show up at 4:30 in the morning in a mask and hoodie? This is probably the thing we have to present something on. To obscure his features, perhaps? And what would have been the point of that? Even if somebody spotted him leaving. He may have instant motives at Brisbane's house, but... excuse me, but a creepy white master screams, "Look at me!" in my view. I mean, obscures who you are, so yeah. Well, even another thing on if he wasn't sneaking around in the dead of night. Certain Wright's tried under Hemlock's influence, and the Phantom Controller himself is pulling the strings of these proceedings. The feeling pressing won't get me far here. It seems substantial. He's gonna crack into pressure. Then again, so should the strength of his arguments. I don't know if I can guarantee safety. I must continue. Okay. 4:30 in the morning, mask and hoodie. The best way to do this is we have this! That was more simple than the last one. Can we collectively agree that Tita Smith was the masked man's identity? Yes, he was. That's what I've been saying. Right. Now what happened at 4:30 a.m.? Where has this time come from? Well, that was when the assailant arrived at Brisbane's house, of course. Was it? Yes? Maybe? Most people saw the masked Smith leave the house at 5:03 a.m. Where have you forgotten about this? Don't. Your Honor, this was a reminder note written by the victim. It clearly to notice that he was expecting the arrival of someone that night. A certain R character, which we can only take to stand for a moment. The defendant so insists the assailant arrived at 4:30 a.m. Then he can't be talking about the defendant, can he? He's referring to the true assailant who arrived half an hour earlier to kill Brisbane. In other words, the fabled second person. Oh, we're back to fairy tale times, Order! I agree with the prosecution. At 4:30 was the time that the defendant arrived. It couldn't possibly have been to Smith. My theory, Your Honor, is that the true assailant committed the crime at 4:30 a.m. and hit the body in the blood according to my previous explanation. He did this because he knew Smith would arrive at the exact time at 5 a.m. You really ain't gonna let the second person go, are you? No. I wonder why. I'm confused, Niles. Stop fucking calling me that. I'm genuinely confused. Now we all can agree on? Oh, you want to be happy? Oh. We're gonna hear about your philosophy again. What? In this case, for the conquerors, mate. Renwick was doomed from the start. Even Phoenix here saw sense in the end and has done more prosecuting than you. And yet, you become the one trying to protect him. Yet an easy win, mate. In my book, win equals happiness. Why wouldn't you want that? You're lecturing me on how I should feel in the middle of a critical trial. Oh my god, I just realized something. Investigations 1 and 2 technically happened like the span of 1 or 2 weeks. And with how quick the days happen, along with what's happening in this game, no wonder no wonder you made a mistake and had Edgeworth here. No wonder. You didn't look into him too much. It's how much he changed from everything that happened in Investigations 2. Oh, Jesus. Wow. Oh. You're so focused on what was happening at the same time as, like, all the cases in this game. Everything with Grossberg being dead. It's like Mapplethorpe, like, being the culprit in the hotel. And you setting up your own gosh dang thing, preparing everything up. Blind spots everywhere. Touching me on how I should feel in the middle of a critical trial. For information, Detective, I'm only happy when justice has been served. I care little about victories anymore. Those days are far beyond me. Let me ask you then, mate. This second person of yours, who was it? The man had temporarily been taking a backseat to today's proceedings. The man Wright supposedly looked into, he refuses to divulge his findings. Can you say his name right? His name? You see, Your Honor, even Wright is aware of the second person, yet is terrified of his name. Wait a minute. Are you referring to the all-seeing, all-knowing individual known only as Hemlock, the Boogeyman? Don't make me laugh, mate. So long, Mr. Colonel Jeans is the only one who could have been the assailant? What evidence do you have got to back that one up? Hemlock is the one, and now is manipulating the trial by puppeteering the defense. And two of the most damning pieces of evidence, the Rottweiler and the Enigmium, they both somehow bear to Smith's prints. There must be something wrong here. I'm missing. Even if Hemlock really did commit these crimes, the defendant's traces of the crime scene cannot be denied. And besides, if this reminder written by Brisbane is anything to go on, Ted Smith was at his house that night. How are you going to explain that one, Edgeworth? Took the words right out of my mouth, mate. Just give up, Niles. Stop calling me Niles. Do you want to go down Urban Sticks into my stead instead? You have a chasing shadows just like the truth, like us. One of us. One of us. One of us. truth. Could it be that the truth is what's wrong with this case? Is it all possible for the truth to be wrong? Huh. I'm afraid mere speculation will not hold as concrete proof, Miss Edgeworth. So unless you can somehow... There we go. I have an idea, Your Honor. I wish to challenge a certain so-called truth in this case. A certain truth? Let me explain. Something here is wrong. Something you all have come to accept as factual truth. Something we have all been fooled into blindly accepting. Something we have never thought to even validate. And I realized that I was the biggest fool of all. And what exactly is this inconsistency? Which part of this case needs validation? Second person, the fingerprints. We're getting to the meat of it now. The fingerprints that coat every incriminating object in this case, I suspect they are not the defendant's fingerprints. Oh boy. So that means, if we're going down assumption, that means... God damn it. So, thinking about it that way, we heard it before even we knew Hemlock was even part of this case with the fingerprints. Snow definitely would have sought the fingerprints that would be on the garrote wire. Because there was no reason for Smith to hold the garrote wire in the first place. It was swapped around finger reports. Huh, reminds me of another game, which came after this one was our release. This game does that better, though. On what grounds do you think the fingerprints are somebody else's? Also, good music. There are multiple details of scattered mysteries that don't seem to add up. Everything so far appears to divert attention to Detective Smith as the perpetrator. But this entire case has been manipulated by another hand, Your Honor. Edgeworth, don't even go there. He's controlling you too, isn't he, right? And you're not at liberty to say. But how does that concern the fingerprints to not be defendants? In extreme circumstances like these, even the truth must sometimes be challenged. Yep. For it may turn out to be idealistic. I have your fingerprint analysis report received to test in the lobby. As you can see, it shows that a clear match is made. Are these really defense prints? All I have is the Snow's word for it, after all. Let me see here. I'm afraid this is an official document, Mr. Edgeworth. It has not been tampered with. Thank you very much. I was afraid of that. Is this still a point with we're pursuing? It bloody well is. Oh no. It's seeping into your thoughts, no. The prosecution requests a full report and a full fingerprint report on everybody involved in this case. Whoa, Mr. Edgeworth. Why do you want to do that? You heard his honor. Those prints are even can't be anyone else besides Redwix. Tell him, Harry. The defense objects against the prosecution's request. You still question the defendant's fingerprints, Mr. Edgeworth? No, Your Honor. I question everybody else's. Please grant my request and we'll hope to show you. No, Your Honor. I object to this irrelevant waste of time. Do you really object, Wright? Or does somebody else? I'm on to you, Hemlock. Objection overruled, Mr. Wright. Oh boy, we're going down to the spiral of the depths of this now, huh? Bailiff, please contact the local precinct and get a fingerprint file on everybody within this case. I do mean everybody. Right away, sir. Oh boy. 20 minutes later. Thank you, Bailiff. That'll be all. Now let's pursue the report. Literally everyone. Huh. Just Smith's fingerprint sample remains the same. Still troubling identical to the prints in the Enigma on the surface. Everything looks to be in order here, I'm afraid. Defense prints is now deadly clear in this second report. The Smith was definitely the handler of the Enigma and the garrote wire. No. I can't let this be it. I'm missing something here. I know I'm missing something. Let me just look at that again. Let me compare certain somebodies, just from, funsies. Okay, Smith is that weird shape. Oh my god. It's literally the exact fucking same thing. It is. You sly, sneaky fucking bastard. Oh fuck. There we go. I thought the game had a glitch there. I was like, no, I spent so long. Oh no. Oh boy. Oh boy, I had a panic attack. Not that drastic. If this report isn't hiding anything, then why are the defense reactions were right? The reaction of Wright must be, by extension, those of Hemlock too. Huh? Wait a minute. This nagging feeling. Saying this report must have subconsciously resonated with me. Wait. What the... That's it? I knew something about this report was off. I tried saying something, mate. Well, that's 20 minutes of my life I ain't gonna get back. I mean, you now just sitting here just like I'm 20 minutes just thinking about all the sins you committed and all of that in your whole life. Okay, mind, please don't go there. I don't want to think about that. It was certainly a valiant effort for you, Mr. Edgeworth, for thinking outside the box. But alas, it appears you have not been able to discredit the defendants. Oh boy. Onwards and upwards. Wait a moment, Your Honor. I have found something very unusual with this report. There's the Miles we know and love. Are you sure, Mr. Edgeworth? The report looks fine to me. Yeah, totally fine. That's all in your head, Niles. Stop it. This has to be a mistake. I'm hoping it's not. Here within this report lies a bizarre discrepancy. One that will result in a certain person to thoroughly explain himself. You remember, right? I agree, he should be ashamed, that man. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Show us the so-called bizarre discrepancy. Which page should we be looking at? Page numero dos. It's page 2, Your Honor. Take a very close look at this fingerprint. Let me just, That's... Mr. Edgeworth, that's a Snow's fingerprint. Correct, Your Honor. I don't get it. The Snow clearly does not clearly judge his face. Keep page 2 to one side, Your Honor. Then take a look at Ronald McSmith's fingerprint on page 1. Yeah, you didn't, Your Honor. Okay, so we have just a Snow's print simply here. And here we have the Wait. Wait, this can't be. These fingerprints. They're both the exact same. And the pin drops, huh? That is Snow. What is the meaning of this? Why do you and the defendant have to show the same fingerprints? We're long-lost brothers. Even identical twins don't have that. That's just a print error. Seriously, you know how mad that sounds for our bloody fingerprints to be the same? But how could you know if this document contained a print error or not? Phoenix, you perhaps got anything you want to say, mate? Anything at all? Wow, I didn't even see your lips move, Mr. Wright. Yeah, heck of a trick, huh? Hold it, Edgeworth. That's why he's not been able to speak freely. Bench was here in this very room. You'll need more proof than a piece of paper to make that kind of accusation. Naming, for instance. How could you tell which prints belong to who? So physical proof that these two share the same prints is what he's asking for. It's a question worth answering, Mr. Edgeworth. If indeed this mind-boggling wonder is true, more tangible demonstration is needed. There's something in the court record I can use to answer that question. Senator Snow has recently touched. Very well, Your Honor. I believe we can prove this. Let's waste no time. Do you have a sample of the Senator Snow's fingerprints in comparison? There's that weird smudge. And that. Recently touched. Like, literally, he handled this. Maybe we can use this? My next thought was, like, the pop-it, but, like, literally, that's something far off. Let's try it. No. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, might as well means present that piece of tat. Make your theory official. Can afford to be falling crack my theories at this stage, Edgeworth. Well, there is no crackpot. Something recently touched. Recently touched. Well, it's here. Finger pile of all persons. So we are going with the puppet then, aren't we? There's something in the court record I can use to answer that question. Senator Snow has recently touched. prove this? Okay, so it's either enigmium, like recently touched, so recently touched. Would enigmium work? Because like I was thinking like just the look of how the fingerprints are. That's probably just the amount of fingerprints that were touched all over the enigmium there in the photo, not the photo itself. So let's try the enigmium itself because he handled it. He literally handed it over and he's not wearing gloves right now. Nope. Okay, so we're going with that theory about it's the puppet? Maybe? That's another point of comparison with Volper's prints. Well, I mean, Smith's prints anyway. Nope, okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. He recently touched and handled. Okay, that's a bit out there. That's actually quite a while ago. I was not thinking recently, but... This, my copy received from the snow. Victim suffered multiple traumas from excessive blood loss, right arm broken. Copy received from snow. If the other thing he actually touched. Yeah, but it's not recent, so that's not my first go-to. This is your copy of the victim's injury report, which I received directly from Dr. Snow. You'll find a rather prominent thumbprint in the top left corner of the envelope. I wonder, Detective, could this be yours? I'll see the trouble, mate. That was one of the other guys snacking. Grease your fingers, you know. Well, we'll find out, won't we? What do you make of this, Your Honor? Does the print match the report? Why, yes, I would say it does. The Snow definitely handled this envelope. Now ask yourself, Your Honor. Being in police custody the entire time, would the defendant have left its prints in this? Oh my, no, he wouldn't. You're right. Precisely. Out of the two, the only one in position to handle case documents was you, Robert Snow. Oh boy. Detective, you owe this court an explanation. Why do you have the same fingerprints as the defendant? Long lost brothers? No. You do realize the implications of what this means, don't you? So I have Renwick's prints? How do you know that he doesn't have my prints? What do any of you know about me and Renwick, eh? We're the best of buds, us two. Or at least we were until he showed his true colors. And you standing there telling me I'm the shifty one all of a sudden? You're a detective. All this time, you've been in a very tenable position. Able to move freely about any crime scene without question over your authority. Hiding in plain sight among your peers of the police department. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you driving at? You don't think the detective is involved? I do, Your Honor. And you're all probably wondering, why? Why would a simple detective commit attempted murder and grand theft? And why would he frame his so-called best bud? He chose one very specific target, had his eyes on one very specific prize. Because that man standing at the witness bench is not Robert Snow. What do you mean Detective Snow is not Detective Snow? Detective Snow is not his full name. It's Robert Snow. It's Robert Detective Snow. We have strayed from a particular subject quite a bit, Your Honor. We still have the matter of Hemlock to discuss. Hemlock, you say? Does the prosecution presume he is still involved? More than merely involved, Your Honor. He has been the true culprit all along. The detective here, he's Hemlock? Mr. Wright, what does the defense make of all this? I don't know. May I remind Your Honor that Hemlock is heavily affiliated with the criminal underworld. Detective Jackson, as said yesterday, became the new leader of the Canopy smuggling ring. And I've contempt many behaviors suggest he is manipulating his trial. Clearly, Wright has been coerced by this man to ensure he gets away with his crimes. As he's proven, he can't agree. He can't say a single word out of line. So I declare, for the record, and for the knowledge of as many people as possible, to the Snow, you are the man known as Hemlock. The cat's out of the bag. Oh, well, look at that. Now the friggin' judge is against me, too. If you want to make an assumption like that, you best back it up, mate. Ain't no way in hell you can call me out Hemlock. Well, technically I just did. This is my chance to make sure he doesn't get away. Fine. You want evidence of your true identity? I believe I just thing. Your true identity. Are we now going to use the fingerprint comparison with this? Finally? Let me just, yeah. Don't worry. Now we can. Okay. Your Honor, do you remember this finger puppet? From yesterday's proceedings? Yes, I remember, Mr. Representative on one occasion. It was sent off for analysis to determine its owner. Has the police been despicable in that regard? Yes, Your Honor. Fingerprints of the Vex Developer and Remrick Smith were found inside it. Or was it really Remrick Smith's print? Developer claims this fingerprint was a parting gift to him from the Boogeyman. If this is true, then it's likely that this puppet belonged to Hemlock himself. If what you suggest Developer told you was accurate, it's possible that Hemlock left prints inside the puppet. Exactly. It'll bring us one step closer to identifying this faceless man. Keep in mind our most recent revelation that Dutta Snow explicitly has the same prints. Now what would that mean for this puppet's owner? How do you know that couldn't possibly be Remlick's print in their puppet? For detective, you're not all that bright. It's almost as if you weren't really a detective. Oh boy. Can I remind you that Detective Smith has been in police custody this entire time? Yeah! Yeah! How would he possibly be able to make contact with this puppet? A puppet that has been in the possession of Vex Bulper for the past few days, no less. Highly doubt the defendant was able to leave his cell and pop down to solitary confinement. Absolutely right, Mr. Edgeworth. Then the only other person with this fingerprint. The Boogeyman serial killer that strikes fear into the heart as black as Vulpers. The man who's been coercing the knowing and manipulating the unaware. The man who's been walking around in plain sight, taking us all for fools. The man sitting there at the witness bench under the guise of an absent-minded detective. The man simply known as... Hemlock. Oh, wow. Finally, Uptier himself is revealed. Your Honor? I admit I'm struggling to comprehend the situation. The elusive Mr. Hemlock, here in this courtroom. If he's here masquerading as a detective in charge of all these investigations. Whoa. Oh, wow. So much for playing you, huh, Nikki? But it ain't over yet. I always have a workaround. Plan V it is that... A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V. I was wondering if you had your alphabets wrong. Oh boy. Oh boy. You guys sound surprised. Not what you were expecting. I understand. Shucks when things don't go your way, huh? What is the meaning of this, not Detective Snow? Oh god. My name's Hemlock, champ. Lyle Hemlock. And I believe you're in my seat. Excuse me, your seat? Yeah-huh? Yeah-huh? So if you just scooch over, Your Honor, that'd be great. Stop, stay where you are. Don't come any... Oh boy. Oh wow. Thanks a million, bud. Your Honor, are you alright? Yes, I'm fine. A guard, seize that man at once. Oh, no, we ain't having that. Make yourselves known, gents. Plan V is a go. Oh. Those men must be Achilles' henchmen. How did they blend into the audience? Cool your jets, people. My boys won't necessarily mean you any harm. Oh, okay. They're just keeping the peace during these proceedings. All over the building, so nobody even think of trying to do a runner, yeah? Oh yeah, for those of you trying to call the police right now... There's really no need to bother. Oh no. What did you just do? Deploy jamming signal within a 100-meter radius? Amazing what apps can do these days, huh? Oh god. You were essentially cut off from the outside world. So you can stand your guards down, Judge. I'm in control now. Unless you want this room turned into a meat blender. What? Oh, hi. You know, it's very weird that you're on the witness stand, but you know, I think that's part and parcel, yeah. Guard, stand down, please. Never in all my born years of my proceedings have been hijacked like this. Just who do you think you are? I thought we'd been through this already. I'm Lyle Hemlock. Everything goes my way. Which is precisely the point of Plan V, ain't it, Nikki? Mr. Wright, you knew about this? Yes, Your Honor, I did. My apologies. This is what Hemlock said he would do if his identity was revealed today. Yep, what he said. Now that in mind, let me ask you one question, Nikki. With our pact violating me being forced to build up my 22nd plan, why shouldn't I have my boys repaint this courtroom with Phoenix blood right now? Right, if only I'd known what Hemlock was planning. I need to do something. Wait a moment. Huh. If Wright is at odds for what I'm saying in his defense, then I must speak for him. Oh boy. Oh, your friend and I made a pact yesterday, champ. I'll pay for the benefit of the court. Nicky doesn't reveal my identity, he gets to keep his head. Now what part of the sentence doesn't add up for you? Still has his head, he didn't bust you. If the pact is exactly as you describe, then he wasn't the one to reveal your identity. That would have been me. Edgeworth, what are you doing? Since you've been in close proximity to the defense during today's trial, he has been powerless to speak for himself. Ergo, he was not the one to blow your cover, but me. Today is gonna be fun. Oh, wow. Okay, guys and gals, we're gonna have a 10-minute break. Hey, can I just reiterate that Achilles is everywhere through this building? Oh my. Someone should be running off now, you hear? Although I will allow people with doctor's notes. Just kidding, you're going nowhere, buckos. Why in the name of all those holies happened this trial? Now we have the perpetrator calling the shots? So what are you waiting for? Scram, you lot! Oh boy. Oh look, the bailiffs are changed now. Isn't this great? Oh boy. Oh. Oh boy. You had to dig around even more. You just had to put your foot in it, didn't you? I knew you'd eventually do something like this. And you couldn't tell me. I was skeptical at first, but now I understand. Oh, okay, we're back with Phoenix now. You kept me up all night with his. He kept me up all night with his prank phone calls. Oh wow. Oh jeez. You're at the prank call stage already? He must really like you. Oh wow. Hi Edgeworth. Oh Jesus. We're in a cucumber dipped in vinegar pickle, aren't we? Edgeworth, I'm sorry about everything in there. He knows what happened. That he was planning to hijack the entire case. I never thought to consult the police about this. What the heck was I supposed to do? If a mobster who somehow knew everything about you was breathing down your neck, what would you do in that situation, huh? Besides, I couldn't if I tried. All my calls somehow redirect to him. But how? How can you possibly have that much control? By choosing who you can and can't contact. I have a question. Earlier you blurted out the attack as having happened at 4:30 AM. How did you know that? Oh, yeah. Hemlock, he heard me through his action plan yesterday. Barely got any sleep because he kept ringing me, sometimes just for pointless reasons. He informed you of the true time he did the deed. He somehow managed to slip past him into your argument. I thank you for taking that kind of risk. Without it, I wouldn't have had something to latch onto and expose them. Power of friendship! Thank you, by the way, for covering me in there. Now he's been revealed, we just need to... Oh, wait. If he's the entire building on lockdown, why doesn't he just escape? Oh, shit. Good point, but I say we use this opportunity to get to the bottom of the case. You think that's a good idea with his goons pointing out Uzis at everyone? Goddamn Uzis? What other choice do we have? Well, we're stuck here for whoever knows why. We might as well uncover the truth. Right, Edgeworth? Let me out of here! Stand back, sir. Orders from the boss, right? Nobody's leaving. That's what you think. Now get out of the way! Oh boy. Consider this your warning, people. No one's getting out till the boss says so. Oh boy. Right? I'm dealing with a man who just pushed the judge out of his seat. He clearly has no qualms about doing worse. Tread with utmost caution. Okay, that's your 10 minutes. Everyone get back in here! Oh boy. Well, this time the building is not on fire, huh? We're in the fire already. Hemlock, I don't know how, but you're going down. And hopefully we leave this off here. Try to make this a big distinct two-parter here. Hopefully. Hopefully. Oh boy, oh boy. It's no wonder why this game is so great. And I don't want to waste too much more of your time, so this is the off here. And hopefully the rest of this case, the finale. So, Hope a fun time watching this as I am playing this. Hope you see you next time. What time may be. And I'll hope you fantastic day.